Hi guys, Rose here with the Cackling Moon. This is going to be a client's one question tarot reading. Now, my client has a really, and by the way, I'm in a study room at the library, so that's why my space looks a little different. So my client is dealing with a rather touchy situation where my client chooses to have a relationship with their niece, quote unquote niece. So it's a long history. I'm not gonna give details because of course it's private. But basically my client's brother has a daughter in question, and the brother refuses to acknowledge this child and refuses to acknowledge a lot of issues that obviously that he has. And likes to portray the perfect world, the perfect life, that kind of a setting. So my client is just wanting to know if they are in the wrong for choosing to be in this girl's life, if they are in the wrong for choosing to have a relationship with this niece, even though it doesn't align with her brother's wishes. So that's basically what we're going to read about. We're going to just see the energy of what's going on here. Now, because I'm not in my home, I brought limited decks to use. So I actually just purchased this red or Waite deck that I'm going to use for the reading. Because I'm afraid to use my vintage one because it is starting to be very has a lot of wear and tear, so I'm afraid to use it too much, like it'll ruin the cards and whatnot. So this is going to be a backup copy, and then I'm also going to be working with the Psychic Tarot. I love the Psychic Tarot. I have been obsessed with it the last few weeks, so that's what we're going to do. Woo! There we go, we got a flyer. So that's what we're gonna do for the reading. We're just gonna look on the energy of the situation, and if my client, whether what does Spirit say? What do the cards have to say about my client choosing to be in this little girl's life? There we go. We got cards that want to come out, so I'm not gonna shuffle anymore. I'm just gonna put these together. When the cards start flying out like that, I take it as a sign that Spirit is saying don't shuffle anymore, that the message is there. So that's what we're gonna do. One question tarot readings are available in my shop. And they go in depth. I pull multiple cards, I look at different angles. So you really get a lot out from a one question, but I also have 2 and 3 question options for people who want to ask, a question about love, but then they also want to ask a question about their relationship, or about their career. They want to ask a future question. They want to ask something about the past. So there's multiple question ones or the single question. All right, let's start. So. And I also have Labradorites. Loving Labradorites lately. I've been obsessed with them. So I have some of those here. Okay. So the 2 cards I wanted to fall out. Let me put this down a little bit more. The 2 cards that wanted to come out are the Ace of Cups, okay, and the Death card. So I really love that because this is really giving you a look at the energy here with your question. And so let's read it like that first. With the Ace card and the Death card, the Ace of Cups and Death is telling me there's a lot of emotion taking place here. You have a lot of empathy. You have a lot of heart space for this individual, for this girl in question. You have a lot of empathy regarding your brother as well, but also you can't you can't put those feelings aside. Regardless if they are his wishes or not, you do not feel aligned with that. You have that intuitive connection to this little one. And I want to say trust that. So that's how I see that. I see the the Ace of Cups to kind of display, you are bringing forward gifts of emotion. You're opening your heart and your feelings to this little one. And you just feel connected in that way. So you're approaching the situation or the energy of it from a heart space perspective, from your emotions. Now, the Death card is change. The Death card is also sacrifices, and it's also all about having to take a break or having to make a commitment to yourself. Sorry, I got a little distracted. These study rooms have big windows, so when people walk by and they see me holding up the cards, they're always staring. So I see the Death card to represent they are you are making sacrifices. You are setting up a space for yourself where change needs to happen, and you are going to be the person that's going to be inviting that change. You are going to be that person that is really going to start rocking the world around your family. So I hope that makes sense. Like I said, I was a little bit distracted right now. I have to like not look up when I'm doing these, because then people, when I catch eyes with people, I'm like, so, and so what I see here with the Death card representing, you are the one that's going to be bringing change. You are the one that is shifting the energy here. Okay. So now we have the Four of Cups, the Four of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. So lots of fours. 4 is an angelic number. Okay, 4 is about protection from the angels or the spirit realm. 4 is looked at as, like I said, very angelic, very spiritual. So I love that that came up, because that's to me showing that you are protected, you are surrounded, that spirit has your back, that kind of thing. But what I'm seeing with this situation is there's going to be little to no action at first, okay? And I feel like from your perspective, it's continue doing what you do. So if you choose to communicate with this little girl, if you choose to, you know, have her over or call her or hang out or whatever it is that you choose to have a connection with, in what form, approach it slowly. As a Four of Cups is kind of like a procrastination card. It's a card of taking your time. So approach it slowly, and don't expect major changes on his part, on your brother's part, right away. This is a situation that needs time. It needs time to settle. So the more that you are involved with this little girl's life, the more that he sees that you are not going to be changing your ways. You know, you might start to see that shift, like we see with the Death card. But there's a lot of inner peace, inner turmoil that needs to be addressed on your brother's part. And that could also be significant too with the Death and the Ace of Cups. On his end, it is just revealing a lot of pent-up emotion, and perhaps that's the reason why he doesn't want to tap into it, because he knows when he does, the waterworks will come out and he won't be able to control his feelings. We have the Four of Pentacles, which is all about, you know, keeping things close. So I do feel this is a situation where you may want to bring conversations up. It's not the time. You may want to, you know, because what's going to happen is you're going to make waves, and with waves comes, you know, sometimes destruction. So be careful what you wish for. That's what I feel Spirit is saying, is be careful what you wish for. Be open from your perspective, your end, for new changes, for new beginnings, starting over, that kind of thing. Be aware that there's going to be some gifts, some changes, some opportunities coming your way, opening up to you with the Ace of Pentacles. There's definitely going to be a lot of that happening. But I do feel like it's not a situation that you want to create too much movement with, as I don't feel it's the time. So generally speaking, the energy of that situation, that connection that you have with her, you are doing fine, and to continue as you approach it, to keep doing it that way. But as far as bringing him into it, like, you know, getting involved with your brother more, or approaching him about what it is that you do and how you feel. I would say very much tread lightly on that. I think maybe with time, when he's ready to address certain things, he will come around. But I feel right now is kind of simply approach it from your end. If you choose to have her in your life, you do it on your end. But it doesn't mean that everybody is going to agree with you, and it doesn't mean that you have to have everyone's approval, okay? So let's look at this a little bit deeper now. Oh, okay. So we have the King of Swords. I'm going to put these facing me so I can see them first. The Ten of Swords, the High Priestess, the Tower. Yeah, there is definitely going to be major change. The Earth. I see it like when I see the Tower card, I think of the Tower as like a major earthquake taking place. The foundation is shifting. There's a lot of things that are happening. The energy is moving, that sort of thing. We have patience and planning came up and reversed. That's important. Patience and planning, like I said. Reverse is I take reversals as slow motion, and I only read reversals technically with the Psychic Tarot for sure, but normal tarot I usually don't. But the patience and planning card in reverse is telling me, like I said, this is not something that you want to throw in everyone's face. This is something you privately choose to do for you. So if you choose to have her over, if you choose to communicate, call her up, text her, make plans to hang out, whatever, from your approach, that's strictly your choice. You can do that. But as far as trying to get the whole family on board or him on board or having his wife be aware of what is the history of his life, these are things that are slow, but it will come out. I do see with that Tower card, we have the Tower and the Ten of Swords. He is very, very stressed about this. It's actually like a nightmare. The King of Swords in the middle, this to me is a reading for him. I don't like to read for people when they don't know that they're being read for, but I will just say that he has definitely morphed into King of Swords energy, which I take that as a very cold-hearted person. Cold shoulder, he's ice. He's very closed off, he's blocked. He is not open to receiving advice. He's not open to hearing what other people have to say about his life. He is very, very closed off. He's very careful with who he has around him. He's careful with what people know about him. I know you mentioned that in the email, because he doesn't want to repeat the shit that happened in his past. And I partly don't blame him, but I also don't think that it's cool that you refuse to acknowledge a situation that could pretty much deal with an actual human being. That's a little sad to me. I love that the fertility card came up here, because when we're talking about his energy, the fertility card can definitely show the birth, the baby, okay, so the conception there. But I also see fertility as growth will come out of this. I like it how it's right below the Tower card. That to me kind of shows that even though the rocky foundation, everything's crumbling, with that you still grow a flower. So I don't know if you've ever seen that image. It's really symbolic for like in destruction. So you have like concrete, but even within the concrete, in the crack, you will have that little plant, that little flower that blooms. I see that to be symbolic here. So all is not lost with him. I definitely feel his foundation is going to be shaky. It's going to be coming up. I would probably estimate about October, the fall season. There's going to be a shift, whether this is because you have continued to acknowledge this child, or a conversation will come up, something's going to take place, the foundation will be, it'll be shaking, it'll be moving, but sometimes it's necessary. So he can only be closed off for so long, but even a King of Swords crumbles. Even a King of Swords has their weak points. The High Priestess is at the core beneath him. This is telling me that higher knowing, he knows he knows deep down the truth, okay? His intuition, he likes to layer it over with rationality. He likes to layer his intuition over with common sense, with facts. You know, he's not one of those people that will believe it if he doesn't see it. So he has to see it, hear it, feel it to believe it. And so that's what I'm seeing there as the high priestess takes the position below how I'm seeing him. And then on the other side, we have the throat chakra. So we have the fertility card, we have the throat chakra. Throat chakra, like I said, is communication. It also has to do with the King of Swords, but cold, closed off. I feel like his communication is, like you said, he will block you out. He will block anyone out. He will not talk to you. Don't talk to me. Don't talk about that. You can't say anything. So his throat chakra is completely closed off. His throat chakra is very weak, as he likes to control that because he doesn't want people to say things. He doesn't want his name to be in topics of conversation. He's very private. And then, like I said, with the patience and planning in reversed, I feel for you, like I said, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but like I said, for you specifically, you know, you go about your actions as you feel are right for you. But as far as you trying to communicate with him and bring things up, I would say hold off on that for a little bit. Just know that the cards are revealing that no matter what, he can hide from this as much as he wants to, but eventually his foundation will shake and this stuff is going to come up. So maybe from you later on, but I would say for right now, let things be, keep doing what you do, and you know, we'll see. So let's look into that. Let's look into the future, since we have some time. We're 16 minutes in. Let's look into the future of, I don't want to look into like the shaky foundation because that's more a reading for him. But let's look into the future of your guys' connection. Are things going to improve between you guys? Because I feel like right now, things are very closed off. So like I said, there we go. We have another 4 card. That's the foundation and achievement card that flew out right now. So that's telling me that there definitely is going to be foundation. Again, the message of the Tower. The Tower card is revealing their foundation is going to be rocky. Things are going to be switching. Things are going to be changing, falling apart, especially on his end. But with that, even in the most destructive of foundation, flowers can still bloom. So I feel I'm taking this to say all is not lost. Blood is thicker than water. So you are family. I feel like he is remorseful. He may not show it, as a King of Swords energy is very, very cold-hearted and very, very closed off, calloused. They don't carry their heart on their sleeves. They are very private people, very closed off. But you know, I feel it. I feel he does have a soft spot to him. So Knight of Cups, the Sun, Page of Cups. Oh, I love it too because that's the child. Okay, so we have the crown chakra in reversed. We have mental conflict in reversed. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, and we're talking about the future between you two, your connection, okay? What I'm seeing is at the core, we have the Sun card, and I should actually flip these over so that you could see it. So we have the Sun card at the core, we have the Knight of Cups, and we have the Page of Cups. Now, pages are children, by the way. They are young people, students, learners, people who are not as, and these were in reversed, people who are not as experienced. So that's a page energy, but it's a child, okay? And I don't like to associate the court cards with gender, but knights, young person, young adult, so his age, your brother, and then the page of a child, and they're coming together, and they are cups. They're united. They are of the same blood family. They are of the same suit. Do you see what I'm saying here? So I do see a union, okay? I do see we have a child here with the Sun card. The Sun is usually reminiscent of siblings, childhood, early years, youth, but it's also joy, it's also happiness, and the light coming out of the darkness. So I do see that too. But I love that the knight and the page are looking at one another, and in the middle is the sun. So I do see this union, okay? I do feel that he will acknowledge this child eventually after he's gone through his own crazy world of his tower energy. Oh my God. I literally, Spirit said flip over your cards, and I looked underneath and there's the tower. So isn't that amazing? The tower card to be in the shadow card. So the card that's at the bottom of the deck is the shadow card. It is known as the fears or the subconscious or the things that you don't want to address, the stuff, the skeletons in the closet. It's the friggin' tower. So to me, that screams a lot. That just shows that there is acknowledgement in the future. When? I don't know. I mean, we can assume it could be, there's a 7 and a 2. It could be 2 years. It could be, I don't want to say 7 years, but you never know. It may take him that long if he's that stubborn. It could be 7 is July, February. I mean, we could look at it in that way. But I do feel it's going to take a couple years. So I'm leaning more towards between 2 to 7 years. This union where he will actually acknowledge this child will happen. But as far as you two together, you and your brother's relationship, I do feel there will be healing involved. The crown chakra and mental conflict in reverse is showing he's going to be in his darkest hour. He's going to be in his pit. And like I said, blood is thicker than water. Family will always be there. So I do feel when he's in his pit, when he is absolutely just crushed into the ground, his foundation will be changing and you will be there to help him. So I do feel like there is a happy ending at the end of this whole thing. I do feel like there is a promising future for the two of you. I hope that it does happen in that favor. I love to do prediction readings because I have had clients tell me that they come true. But in this case, my intuition is telling me that there will be a big earthquake of a experience before the healing happens. He needs to really dive in deep. I would love to read for him. If he is ever open to having readings done, I would love to read for him, because there's a lot of crap. There's a lot of things he needs to address, and that healing journey, So we're 22 minutes in. Let's just pull for some advice for you in this situation. What is the advice aside from that 4 of? These are brand new cards, so they're slippery. Besides the 4 of Cups earlier, how I was saying take it slow, don't rush into having to have this conversation with him or whatever. Take it slow. Aside from that kind of advice, let's see what the cards have to say with you in this whole situation. We have 5 of Wands, King of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, 10 of Wands, and the Magician. Wow, so obviously your brother is making his entrance again. He's there. There you have the conflict card, the 5 of Wands, which I said is conflict, it's arguments. But we also have the 6 of Pentacles. So on either side of this that I see for advice, I feel like Spirit is saying minimize the conflict, give and take. What you put into the relationship is what you should be receiving outward. If he's completely blocking you out, take a step back. Don't be as forceful. Don't be as aggressive with him. Let him have his space, but always know that you will be in the background. Make sure that he is aware of that you love him, that you care about him, that you will still be there for him in his darkest moment, because it's coming. It is definitely coming. He, like I said, he likes to block. We have a 10 again, 10 of Wands. He's in that moment where it's hard. He's pushing through. He's being stubborn. He's pushing through, but it's hard. I Again, with the Five of Wands and the Page of Swords below, your guys' tempers are very short with one another. There's a lot of arguing, there's a lot of yelling back and forth. So like I said, if you can minimize that, that would be very helpful, as this is advice for you. But I also see, as we enter out, which I see the Magician to symbolize that, the future going out, we have the Magician card. This is just saying the magic will happen. The manifesting. If you put enough loving energy into this situation, you will manifest a happy ending. You will manifest good things to take place. So all is not lost. These are rough cards. I'm not gonna lie, they are rough cards, especially for advice for you. It's basically saying, I feel Spirit is just saying, kick back, take a step back, let him have what he wants. If he doesn't want anything to do with you, give him his space. But I'm telling you, when he is hitting rock bottom, when his tower moment is happening, he's gonna be very remorseful, and you should be there for him. So for now, kick back. This isn't the time to this isn't the time for confrontations. We have suffering and silence in reversed, the wisdom in reversed, the love begins in reversed. So slow motion here that the oracles are revealing as they're all in reversed. Suffering and silence is kind of saying it's really hard for you to hold your tongue. It's hard for you to, keep your feelings, your thoughts to yourself, but that's what you got to do. The wisdom in reverse, you have a lot that you want to say, you want to share, but I just feel like Spirit is putting it in reverse to say it's not the right time right now. This isn't the right moment. And love begins, to me, it's like that's again with that Ace of Cups. It's like it's funny how we're ending your reading with the Ace of Cups again, but this time it was in reversed. So I feel like this is saying like the hands are saying as they're in the reversed, it's like protections, protecting your heart, guarding yourself, focusing on you, okay, focusing on your own energies and your connection with this girl, with this little girl, before you start in on your brother. And so take a step back with that. He will feel it when you pull back, when he's normally used to you being involved. He will feel it. He will feel your absence, and he will definitely feel it when you are gone. So keep that in mind. Sometimes no action and no words is the strongest approach to very stubborn people. A lot of times when people are so stubborn and you actually give them what they want, they realize they don't want that. So reverse psychology there. But anyways, my love, this is the end of your tarot reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. Thank you for letting me connect. And I hope that, this gave you enough guidance and insight. And if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I love chatting with you, and I love, your energy as a client. You're so easy to read for. It's like sometimes the energy just flows. So I hope that you enjoyed your reading. Thank you so much. And anyone who's watching, this is the one question tarot reading. If you are interested in one, click the link below, book one with me, and we will read your cards. Bye, loves.